everybody. Welcome to Sunday night's Ride or Die show. We're so excited. Yay. I've had nice weather. Apparently, J.M. Shaw has not, and that's very sad for her, but it's going to be really mean of me. She can keep it. I don't want it. Anyways, I am your host, Randi-lee. Hit the like and subscribe button because obviously do that. And we're so close to 360. I hate when you're like that close and yeah. Anyways, do it. So you know what? I'm gonna share my exciting news at the beginning of the episode instead of the end of the episode because, well, I just want to. Um, I think I've done the final rewrite of the script for the movie Goodbye Too Soon, coming ideally next May. We still have to, finish all the things, but we're aiming for it to be all done by next May. So it's very exciting. The website has a page up on it, so you can go over there, check it out, stay up to date with all the details, and if you are ever so inclined, you can also donate to the film because it is fully independent, which I really, really love. So head on over there, check it out as well, because like I said, I'm super excited, and we're talking about some very important stuff, as you know, and now we're dramatizing it on screen. All right, enough of that for now. I'm sure I'll talk more. Before we get started, too, though, actually, I'll introduce the guest because she's a return guest, so she knows how crazy and, random I am. So with us today, we have, again, 3 times or 4 times now?
I think this is my 3rd time.
I think so. I was trying to remember it. I'm like, I can't remember. But we have the wonderful J.M. Shaw with us. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me back.
Thanks for coming back. When I saw that you were coming up, I'm like, yes, we have so much fun together.
I know. I felt the same way when I was told I was Mickey. Mickey said, "Would you be willing to be on a show?" Of course. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Hook me up. So before we get into the episode, my kid is cleaning her room, and so she has these like hanging things for her stuffies, and I had given her some of mine for when she was little, and she's like, oh, because we're putting them in a box and putting them under her bed, like we're not getting rid of them, but we're putting them away for now. And so she finds one of mine. She's like, oh, do you want this? Because you can't see it because I have this beautiful random virtual background because I'm actually in my bedroom, not in my wonderful office because my cats are kind of jerks. Anyways, so she finds my stuffy from when I was little. And I don't know if any other millennials remember these, where they have the babies inside of them. So I have the babies.
I had a pound puppy version.
Yeah. So we have 4 of the babies. This was one of the special ones that had like 6. So obviously I've lost some over there. Well, this one didn't come with her. This one I can't remember. It was like an extra. So she came with 5, and then I had this one. So I've lost a couple of them over the years, but so excited. So I was like, yes, I will definitely put this up on my shelf. I'm gonna have to buy another. Y'all can't see it, but I have these cute little shelves, so I'm gonna have to buy another one so she can go up there because yes, I've had her forever. Anyways, if y'all have had them in the past, share it in the comments below because nostalgia right now, guys. It's all about the nostalgia at the moment. Anyways, tell us, and those who are new to the show because they have not seen your other episodes then, and also go back and watch them, tell us a little bit about who J.M. Shaw is.
I am a mother of 2 very busy boys. I am a wife. I am the oldest of 5 kids.
I didn't realize you were the oldest of 5. Holy moly!
I've got 4 younger brothers. And I thought my sole purpose in life was to babysit, and I made them pay.
I feel like that part I know. I feel that's kind of reminiscent in my head. But I don't think I realized how many there were.
Yeah, there's 4. And so, when we were having kids, it was kind of like, oh, I wish I would like to have a daughter. That would be kind of nice. And I have 2 sons, and I wouldn't trade them for the world. But I'm never going to have daughters, so I've come to terms with that. I don't think I could handle a mini me anyway. But
right, I'm a little bit regretting that every time people are like, oh, do you want a boy or a girl? I'm like, it has to be a girl. Well, I got one, and she's me times 10.
Yeah. I think, well, at least with boys, I knew what I was getting into, and I was very much a tomboy growing up anyway, so
Me too.
I liked the sports that they're into. I like being active. I like hiking. I like You know, I do a little airsoft. I took karate for many years. You know, I had to keep my brothers in line. Um,
Obviously.
yeah, exactly. And I've been a lifelong dreamer and I've been writing. It was start of that need for an outlet turned into a passion, therapy. Been over 35 years now. And
Wow.
I didn't share anything. I kept it to myself because I was just really introverted, shy. I didn't know what people would think of me. And then 2019, I was diagnosed with autism and ADHD, and I thought, well, maybe writing is my special interest. So it gave me the courage to send the first book in my series, my current series, to an editor, thinking, you know, the worst they can say is it sucks. And they came back and said, this doesn't suck. You should publish. So 2 years later, I did. And now I have 4 books published.
And they're fabulous, but we'll get to those. um, okay, so I know, like, on the show, we've talked before about your ADHD and things. And we've a little bit touched on parenting a kid with special needs, but I feel like we haven't talked about it a lot yet. So let's maybe dive in there and see where that takes us, since it's kind of new-ish, because we don't want to repeat ourselves, mind you, because it's
Exactly.
not scripted. No matter what we talked about, it would not be repeated. So okay, so I know you were diagnosed in 2019. Was that before or after your
After my first son was diagnosed in July of 2019, and we went through the ADOS assessment with him, and there were a lot of things that they were asking questions about. His, like, it was a 3-day ordeal. It was quite in depth. And they observed him in school, and they asked me a bunch of questions about his milestones and his behaviors, and
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 how old
I
was
didn't.
he?
He was, I believe he was 4 at the
Okay.
time he was diagnosed.
And what made you go, something's a little funky here. What's maybe happening?
It was when he started preschool.
Okay.
And I mean, you know, I have 2 boys, and he was my oldest. I had nothing to compare him to. I was kind of isolated. I didn't have family close by. I didn't know a lot of people, so I didn't have other parents I could ask. Like, does your kid cry every second they're awake? Do they sit there in the high chair and just shake their head like this for, constant, or spin around in circles, like going like this? Like, we thought he was a little worried man. He looked like a cute little worried man. And, stimming behaviors, and then difficulties with speech. His speech was a little slow, and just different things that we noticed. And then as he got older, we noticed a little bit more, but it wasn't until he went into preschool. They did, the teacher, one of the preschool owner, she noticed some things, and she didn't tell me directly.
Okay.
Um, but she contacted, so there was a company that went in, it's called I'm for Kids, and they would work with the kids with speech and behavior problems. And she had asked them if they have a registered psychologist on hand, could they come and take a peek at him? And then they brought me in for a meeting afterwards, and they said, when they booked the meeting, they said they wanted to come in and had talk to me about, like, some behaviors, and they said social communication. And and I was like, part of me knew, but at the same time I was like, that I guess they're just kids. He just,
Right.
yeah,
And when
exactly.
you don't have something to compare it to,
Yeah.
right? What else do you know? I know my big thing, people used to say stuff about mine, and I was like, well, what are you talking about? She's just like me. Like,
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
oh, that's when, yeah, you turn around and go, oh, they're just like me because I'm also, okay, I get
Yes,
it.
yeah. And that was what was happening during the ADOS assessment, was like, they were going through and they were saying, noting red flag behaviors is what they called it. And I was like, I've done that my whole life. Oh.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
3 months
okay.
after his diagnosis, I received my diagnosis.
Wow. That's becoming more and more common for our age group, because we're about
Yeah.
relatively the same-ish, to go, oh, okay, because especially for women, for girls,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we
um,
tend to hide it.
we tend to hide it. We present in very different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when they were first developing, what the heck autism is, it was all done on boys. Girls were not
Yeah.
part of this research, which
Yeah. I mean, in
rude.
fact, they didn't think that girls could have autism for a long
Exactly.
time there. Just
Right?
because they didn't understand that there could be different presentations of it.
Exactly. Well, maybe when eventually the DSM-6 comes out, which I'm assuming they're going to, because they're on number 5, right? So I'm just assuming there's going to be a new edition when enough research comes out. Maybe it'll be added in there, right? That'd be great. Go do that, guys who research things.
I heard through the grapevine from a registered psychologist, and I don't know how much truth there is in this because we were just chatting on an off topic and stuff, but that ADHD is now added to the DSM-5 under an umbrella of neurodiversity.
Oh.
But I don't know how much truth there is.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was added in 2013 as far as I know.
Okay, I know that they combined ADHD and ADD, like they're not separated anymore. Everything is all under that ADHD umbrella. I know that.
Yes.
But I don't know. Well, I'll have to look into that more. Hey, somebody who likes research and stuff, because I don't, figure it out and comment below so I don't have to research. Thanks. That'd be great.
There you go.
Be super wonderful of you. Because I love learning more things. But yeah, so it's such commonplace now to figure it out when we're older. And it's not, and I know we've talked about this, so I'm going to gloss over it slightly, but it's for those who haven't heard the other episode, it's good to hear this. It's not that we need to know, however, we need to know, because it's almost like a aha breakthrough. I can be okay with who I am because I'm not actually a weirdo. I'm just kind of
I'm not broken.
I'm okay with being a weirdo.
A little crooked.
Right? Oh, I like that. I'm
go.
quirky. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a little quirky. I used to love using the word quirky, and then at the barn that I ride at, the donkey is named Corky, and I'm like, oh, maybe I don't like it anymore, because now I'm thinking of a donkey every time I say that word, and I'm like, I'm not an ass. Not all the time, anyways.
There's a reason I don't let people call me Jenny. My first name is Jennifer, and I don't let people call me Jenny. One, because my mom called me Jenny Poo, but because that's what you call little girl donkeys. You call them Jennies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I'm like, I am not a donkey.
Oh, I didn't know that. I remember being a child, and every time my mom would be like, kid, what are you doing, or whatever, or if like the word kid came up, I'm like, I am not a baby goat. That was my big thing. I'm not a baby goat.
Yep.
And then you know, I realized in my old age, I'm such a literal person. Hello, autism. That when she would say that, I wasn't just being sassy back, but like legitimately, I'm not a baby goat. Why are you right? Yeah. You're giving me a literal word. I'm taking it that way, and now I understand why I did those things, because it's actually funny. So the other day, I'm going for a walk during lunch, and I jaywalked across the street because, well, we're downtown, and I know I did. However, when I was little, guess what I thought jaywalking was? Just take a random guess out of being so literal.
I was thinking birds walking across the street, like jaybirds.
Oh, like a blue jay.
Yeah, I always picture that in my head. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. No, that would at least make more sense. I pictured somebody literally walking in a jay all the way down the street. Like they would make a little loop, and then they'd walk down again, and then they walk down again.
I'm just trying to picture that in my head.
Yeah, it's really messed up. But that's legitimately what I thought it was for the longest time.
Well, I know shortly, like, I should have known this when my kids were little, and I used to take them to the park. This was before diagnosis, or maybe it was right around that area that time. I used to take things so literal, and I have this like perfect example of that. So my kids are half Chinese, half Caucasian, and so they don't look 100%. You know, like my heritage. Like you. Yeah, exactly. So I had mom approached me one time, and she saw me with my kids at the park, and she's like, "Oh, they're what is their father?" And I was like, "A man." Because I mean, I kind of thought I knew what she was asking, but that's not what she asked, so I couldn't answer that. And I mean, like, it was even hilarious when she asked me, no, like, what country is he from? And I was like, he was born in Canada.
Yeah. Also, random lady at the park, not really your business. Just
saying. It wasn't really, but, you know, I was just like, oh, she was being nice about it.
Right, so. And that's fine. I mean, I would be curious too, perhaps. just because I'm nosy that way. But, just throwing it out there to the big wide public. Sometimes it's just none of your business.
Kind of true. Kind of true, yeah. But I was just like, I kind of knew what she was trying to ask, but I couldn't say that. I couldn't answer that because that is not what she asked. And my brain would not let me answer what I thought it was.
Exactly. She wasn't asking the right thing. I know sometimes people will say stuff to me or ask me a question. And I'm just like, can you be specific? And I've started doing this at work now. So at my day job, I have to answer the phone occasionally and talk to customers or whatever. And they'll be like, oh, I have a question about the program. And I'd be like, okay. And I'd give them like the random overview that really you can read on the website because that's whatever. And they're like, okay, what else do I need to know? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, do you have any specific questions? So I've started asking, do you have any specific questions I can answer? Because I don't know what you want to know. How am I supposed to know that? I don't know.
You know what? I would have probably been like, why are you asking? Is there something you're trying to angle this conversation towards? That's what I'd probably be asking. Just because I wouldn't know how to answer that either.
Right? And that's why I started saying, is there something specific I can answer?
That's a very good way of doing it, yeah.
Right? Just a very professional, I have no idea what the heck you want. Like, how about you help me out here? So, customer service people out there, you can use that. Do you have anything specific I can answer? Yeah. And of course, that super fake voice that we all use when we answer the phone.
Oh, yes. Oh, I hate that. I hate that fake voice. My voice is not as high. I can't do it very well, so.
And it's so funny because I can't, like, that. When I tried to do it right there, it still doesn't mimic it right. Like, for whatever reason, as soon as I'm at work and I'm answering it, it just happens. I can't do it without it doing that. It's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's so hard to, sometimes it's like, in different roles, you have to put on, you have to put on a different skin. They talk about putting on, your teacher's hat, your mom hat, your professional hat. Mm-hmm. It feels like, for me, it was always like I'm putting on a whole bodysuit and pretending to be somebody I'm not.
So masking. Let's talk about masking. This is fantastic. Okay, so masking is essentially putting on a full bodysuit of something else because you need to fit in with whatever it is that you're doing. And I mean, I think everybody across the board does it to some extent based on our conversation about customer service, right? When you're at work, you do kind of put on a little bit of a something, right? Whether it's to appease your customers or your boss, there's a little something. Mm-hmm. That, for your neurotypical person, generally comes from a place of, I understand this is a workplace and I need to fit in for my paycheck. Yes. When it comes from a neurodevelopmental standpoint, it's, okay, I need to look at what everyone else is doing and pretend to do it that way. I have no idea why I'm doing that.
Yes.
Mirroring, exactly. I have no idea why I'm doing this, but I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm. And I came up, because when I was growing up, they didn't have an understanding of, anybody who was high functioning, autistic, or ADHD. They need more discipline and stuff. And so I didn't know how to talk to kids. I was great in school. I behaved very well because I was just so quiet. I was watching. And you used to keep
notes and write people, right?
Yes, I used to write conversations. Yes, but I do know. I was later after my autism. Within the last, I think, 18 months to a year, I've been diagnosed with dyslexia as well. Really? And I remember I used to get lost because I do struggle with it, and now that I can recognize the signs, now that I see it, it's mild. It's not debilitating, but it's enough that it's causes some problems in some things. But I used to read, and I used to get to the end of the line and get lost coming back, so I'd put my bookmark there, and then I move it down, and the next line, move it down, move it down. And I had my teacher came along and took my bookmark away and said, "That is not how we read a book." And me, being the bratty little kid I was, is fine. I'm going to use my finger. You can't take that away.
I feel like I remember that story, actually. Yeah. It's a good story. And she has lots more good stories, so go listen to the other episodes. Just saying. So I know, we talked about your one kid getting diagnosed. Did your other one also get diagnosed later?
Yes, he was diagnosed the following year. Because
so how old was he then?
He would have been about 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
oh no, they're coming for you.
Oh, you can hear it too. Yeah, I was saying.
Yeah.
I live fairly close to, I don't know if that was an ambulance or what it was, but I live fairly close to the hospital, and there is like a fire station not too far from me either, which I mean is fantastic, but not
Yeah.
for the
Yeah, it didn't sound like a fire truck. It sounded more like an ambulance.
Yeah, because we are like maybe 3 blocks from the hospital. Like quite close.
Yeah,
Oh, there's another one.
Oh, now that one sounds like a fire truck.
Right, exactly. They all have a slightly different sound.
Just a little.
Yeah. So what made you go for testing for your younger one?
He was having some issues as well, but his issues were a little bit different than his brother's. He had less problems with learning, like he wanted to play with other kids. My older son did. He wanted to play with other kids, but he didn't know how to talk to them. He didn't know how to start conversations. He'd walk up to kids and just stand there in front of their face. Like, they see me, I want a conversation to happen, I don't know how to start one. So we had to coach him on that. With my younger guy, he was a lot more in the OCD, sensory issues. He was diagnosed with a sensory issue disorder before he was diagnosed with autism and ADHD.
So was mine.
Yeah.
Well, daughter, but whatever. So was my kid.
Yeah, exactly.
My kid, my baby goat.
Yeah, your kid.
Yep.
I think of that, whenever I hear that, I think of that, does eat, bears eat oats, and does eat oats, and little lambs eat ivy. Sorry.
I have never heard that before. It must be.
Oh, you
must be that
haven't? It's like a nursery
Albertarian.
rhyme. Yeah. It's
Only
like,
out in Alberta.
Yeah. I think it was on like Mr. Dress Up or something.
I loved Mr. Dress Up. I just don't remember that. I was all in for the costumes. Like I was all in.
I know. I was in for the puppets. I kept trying to figure out, it's like somebody's hand is in there and how are they getting it to do that? And they're looking like, yeah.
I love it. When I was younger, I saved up all of my birthday money and stuff and bought myself my own little marionette. It was like this blue flamingo looking thing. Oh my
cute.
gosh. Yeah, I had to have a marionette. Yes. I forgot about that. Then I just had a flashback.
Yeah. I had one too, but I got so frustrated that I couldn't get the strings to work properly. I just kept getting tangled.
I kind of figured it out, and then my a-hole of a brother wrecked it.
Oh, did he cut the strings?
Yeah. No, he just tangled them up so much that I couldn't figure out how to untangle them. But he was a big jerk.
My brother gave all my Barbies and ponies haircuts.
My brother turned my one Barbie into Spawn. Yeah. Great times.
Lovely siblings. Yes.
Yeah.
But I know my little guy, he was very much, things had to be a certain way, and if they weren't, the whole world's falling apart, and he would have some epic meltdowns. So my older one was very emotional and couldn't regulate his emotions and would cry a lot. My little guy was same thing, but he presented as a screamer and anger and couldn't regulate that emotion. So I had a crier and a screamer.
Yeah, mine was the screamer and throwing and punching and that.
Oh yes. Yeah. And I've said I think there was one summer he broke my ribs. Sent me to the ophthalmologist because he was sitting on my lap and he was playing with something and I was like, oh, what do you got there? And he's playing with one of those sprinklers that go
oh jeez.
Yes. And so I'm looking over his shoulder and he goes like this right in my eye. Sent me to emergency. It hurt so bad. I was seeing double for a while. But,
I can only imagine.
Yeah, and he did a seated pile drive. I was laying on my back on the floor, and he turned like he was going to walk away, and he did like one step, and then he went wham right on my ribs, broke my ribs.
Oh my gosh.
I swear he almost broke my nose. He chipped a tooth, one of my teeth. But it was just, it was like we're dodging toys and punches, and he's only 3. You know,
right?
So,
Yeah.
And they're tough. They're a lot stronger than they look.
Oh my gosh. Well, and you don't want to hurt them, right? So it's like you got to protect yourself. You got to protect them from hurting themselves. But like,
yeah,
exactly.
So I know they're little and they're cute, but this would go on for hours. Mm-hmm. Like I tried to explain to somebody that the difference between a meltdown and a temper tantrum is temper tantrums are usually kids trying to get something that they want. Yes. and you give it to them and they're fine. Meltdowns are an emotional roller coaster. They cannot get off the ride. And
Yeah.
it can go on for hours and nothing you
Right.
do can stop. They literally cannot calm themselves down. They just have to
And
work it out.
a lot of times, especially when they're younger like that, you've got no idea what set it off.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember this one time we were at a basketball game. So Lev had went to at Niagara University across the border. They have
Mhm.
like a little cheerleader camp every year, or at least they used to. I don't know if they still do, probably. Anyway, so she had done it a couple of times. Really loved doing it,
Mhm.
and so she was there. Did the whole day with them, whatever. But then it was time for the game. So during the game, all the kids in the cheerleader camp, they sit with the dance class or whatever,
Mhm.
and they wait for their turn, and they're part of the halftime show.
Yep.
Well, the basketball game, the buzzer goes off, right? So we hadn't connected the dots at this point, but the buzzer's going, and Lev's just friggin' flies out
Oh, is
the
it the
gymnasium.
noise?
She's just running, screaming, and so obviously we chase after her. We're trying to figure it out. We're like, "Look, come on, you're gonna miss the time to do it, whatever." She's like, "No, no," and we're like, "What is happening? Like, you like doing this stuff? You did the whole day. You had fun. What is happening?" But yeah, it wasn't until later that we went, "Oh, the game itself was too loud."
Yeah. Yes. And you know what? I remember being myself, being a kid, and the noise of flushing toilets in public
Hand
washrooms would
dryers.
terrify me. Yes. Well, my little guy, he'll put his arms up like this and cover his ears with his shoulders to dry his hands.
Smart.
Looks really cute. So he
Right.
figured that out. But I remember those automatic toilet flushing
Yeah.
things, and he used to be terrified of them. And we were in a handicap stall together, and he was going to the bathroom. And it was quite a long stall. I remember that because the toilet flushed while he was on it. And he sipped. It was like 4 feet
Oh,
across the room. He was like
I
in the
hate
wall.
I hate when they flush when you're still using it. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
finished. Yeah.
But he didn't
Well,
expect the noise, and it scared him, and
no.
he was off that toilet across the stall. I've never seen him move so
Yeah.
fast.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, actually, we
Yeah.
were just walking the dogs just before we started our show. And yep, sirens go by, and
Yep.
immediately I go and I plug my ears, and I turn to look
Yep.
at my kid, and she had plugged her ears, so we just start howling. We're just laughing because we're
Yeah.
both doing the exact same thing. My husband's just in front, and he turns and he looks, and he just kind of shakes his head. We're like, "Yep, yep, this is
Oh
what
my
you live
goodness.
with."
Oh, I gotta tell you a funny kid story. I don't know if this is a neurotypical thing, but my kids used to do this thing where if they were going to the bathroom and they were needing, they'd call me because they need help. And I'm like,
Okay.
I don't know quite how I can help you, kid. I said, like, do you want moral support? And they're like, no, mom, push on my head. So
What? Okay.
yeah, I'm like, okay, I think they think I'm helping. So I'm standing there in the bathroom, hands on the kid's head. My husband walks by and he looks at me and I look at him and he just goes, oh, and walks away. Not because this is a new thing, but because it's a typical thing.
In your house, anyways.
Yeah. And I had
I've
somebody come
never
over.
heard that.
I think it was something my mom had said too when I was a kid. And I remember that maybe I'd mentioned that to him and that's why they started asking. But I had a
That's
friend come over and she had two boys the same age as my kids. And I remember my son went to the bathroom and he said, Mom, come push on my head. And then she's like, What, why does he need you to? He's like, he's having a hard time pooping. Does that work? I don't know. He thinks it does. It's like you
You know
giving
what?
gripe water to babies. You think you're doing something, that's all that
Right, who
matters.
knows? Oh my gosh. It's the placebo effect at its finest. But you
Yeah,
know what?
exactly.
As long as it helps at the end, so be it. So be
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yes. I mean, if he
Um,
thinks it's helping, then I'm not gonna stop. But you
right?
know,
Exactly. That's all that matters, really.
yeah.
Um, okay, so what would you say to parents who, the kid hasn't been diagnosed, they don't have autism in their family per se, like diagnosed. What would you say to a parent that the parent is kind of like, huh, something's, I think you know what I'm going with here.
Yeah. So I was in that boat. And after the psychologist sat down with us and we had a chat about Morgan, and I went to my pediatrician and they didn't believe me. They said they were convinced it
Mm-hmm.
was just ADHD. And they said that this is what they said, only a registered psychologist can identify if it's something beyond ADHD. I said, yeah, and it's a registered psychologist that's telling me to talk to you. So, but they didn't believe me. So, and then my family doctor didn't believe me. Some other people I was talking to, they didn't believe me. I followed my gut. I went and paid for, I went and got him privately assessed by registered psychologists doing the ADOS, which is like the gold standard for kids. The ADOS assessment. I don't know what ADOS stands for, but it's the one that's the in-depth, very intensive.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it was found out that yes, he does have autism. He had a speech delay. He has severe ADHD combined presentation, which means the hyperactivity and the attention deficit, which is exactly what I have. And and I even had the psychologist come with me to my pediatrician to explain it to her that it's not just ADHD.
Oh, well, that's lucky that you had somebody willing to do that.
Yeah. And then I said, let's talk now about, to my pediatrician once she finally believed me, because you spend more time with your kids than other people do, and you can teach them, if a kid, just because, the big thing that I was hearing was, oh, they make good eye contact, they can't have ADHD. They play with toys, they play with other kids, they can't have ADHD. That's because I taught them how to do those things. I wouldn't work, and you can teach kids, neurodiverse kids, to act like neurotypical kids. You can teach those behaviors. It's all it is they come naturally to people that are not on the spectrum. Yeah. On the spectrum, you just need to actively learn them. So I have a lot of people saying, oh, they don't look autistic. And that's, one, I don't know what's autism supposed to look like. But it's because I have worked so hard. Like, my kid didn't know how to play with toys. Neither one of them. So we would have to get down on the floor and model that behavior. Play YouTube videos of people playing with toys. And then we'd start to see them play with toys. Yeah. But nobody would believe me with my oldest, let alone my younger one. And I was having a little more issues with my younger one in areas than I did with my older one. It was just different areas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But once my older one was diagnosed, I said, can we have my younger son assessed? Because he was one of his stims, and it still is skin picking. And he would get like a little thing on his face, and he would pick it and pick it and pick it, and he'd be bleeding. He got skin infections. He'd pick here, get a bug bite here, and
mine likes
he's
to
got
pull
scars.
Mine likes to pull her toenails off. And I'm not talking like, you rip them off. I'm talking the entirety of the toenail off.
My little guy has been picking at his cuticles, and he's lost fingernails because of it. And, so it's one of those things. But, like, doctors kept telling us, oh, it's eczema. And I said, it's not eczema, it's behavioral. And they wouldn't believe me. And not even my pediatrician would believe me. And I tried to explain to her, we would cover it with like 2 Band-Aids and a Tagaderm. They can't get through that. They'd pinch somewhere else just to make an owie, just so they could pick at it. Yep. And like, that's behavior. There's no eczema, like, he's not just, And it was just so, like, when they're high functioning, unless they're, it's still difficult, because unless they meet the absolute standards, they, check off all the boxes. And some kids are just not that high in that one area, but they're just high enough, to cause problems at home. And it's just hard to meet it. When they're high functioning, it's hard to be diagnosed.
Yeah. So trust your gut.
Yep. Yes, you're with them a lot more than the doctors are. And if you don't believe them, get a second opinion, or a third, or a fourth if you need,
Right. However many it takes, just keep going.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So tell us about, tell them, the audience, because I already know what you've written. I've already read what you've written. So share with the wide world about it.
So my series is a dark magic fantasy. It's got lots of action, adventure, some suspense, some supernatural elements, a little bit of thriller, tiny bit of horror. It's a young adult and up, so all that means is there's some swear words here and there, hints of romance here and there, no sex. Everything else you'd expect in a fantasy adventure. I grew up old school. I was reading Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. But at the same time, I like to weave in things like wholesome messages that I've learned through life. And, I do present some mental health issues and just try to, like, in an adventure setting, so it does kind of, hit its mark without hitting my audience over the head with a 2x4 for here's a message.
The newest review for book number 4 just came out last week. I just finished it.
Yes.
So everybody go listen to that and all the other ones because, well, obviously I'm awesome. And I mentioned that in the review specifically that I like the way that you weave in mental health, but you're not like making it a plot point or something. Like it's natural. This character is having some kind of anxiety or having some kind of issue, and the conversation that he has with the other characters, I don't want to give anything away, right? The conversation he's having with the other characters, it feels so natural with somebody who's having an anxiety or panic attack or whatever the thing is happening, right?
Yes.
And it just feels natural. And I really point that out in the review because I love that part of it. It makes you connect with the character just that little bit more.
And I mean, mental health issues are an actual part of life. And
No
I think
way.
that's one of the, yeah, exactly, right? And I think that's one of the reasons why we can connect with the characters in my books. Yes, they're going on this fantastical journey and all, but we can feel like we can connect with them because we understand these emotions that they're feeling. I mean, anger is pretty understandable to people. So
Yeah.
if your character is angry, you can kind of get that, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. So I really like that. I loved this. I mean, I've liked all of them. But just like with anything we do in life, the more you do something, the better it gets. So every time you release a new book, obviously it gets better. And I really like this one because you've taken them from where we've been the last 3 books in this part of the world, and it's like, nope, we're way over here in this other part you've never heard of before. Let's learn about it. And I'm like, oh, all right, I'm in. Let's do that.
Well, there's this entire magical realm to explore that's hidden from humanity. And so, I mean, I've only talked in the first few books. I'd only talked about this one area of
Yeah.
it, but it's bigger and more expansive. So we will see different areas of this world as we go into the series. I'm working on book 5 as we speak. And there's always a lot that's happening in my books. There's a lot of
There is.
different. I don't want to call them side quests, but there's always things that are
There's
happening
some nice
in the
side
background.
quests.
Yeah,
I like it. I like them.
and yeah, exactly. And then the settings. Sometimes it's hard to think. Well, I want to be original, right? But at the same time, I'm like it's a fantasy world, and then, as I'm thinking that, and I put my headphones on and I go for a walk and I start letting my mind wander and stuff, and then it'll come to me. It's like, oh, I know what I need to do, what setting this needs to be. And so that was kind of my idea for that setting. It's like, what is the worst place a person can go in my mind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I love that
Yes.
actually. So we've said the word series a whole bunch. What's it actually called?
It's well, I didn't actually call it anything. I just was like, hey, this is my series. But I have had people been calling it the Callum Walker series. So I just kind of said, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do that.
That's what I've been calling it because it needs a title when you're talking about multiple books.
It did, and I hadn't actually given my series a name. I just sort of adopted what everybody else was calling it. So I was like, yeah, that works. I like that. So
Yep.
my fourth book, which you've read, is The Forsaken Souls, and then my that kind of carries my character's journey. We follow him through through these books. And he's learning about himself. He's learning about this world. He's trying to figure out where he belongs. He's too, he doesn't really feel like he belongs with humanity because he's got magic and he has to hide that part of himself. But then in this magical realm, he's human and it's very difficult to hide that. And there's this prejudice, like, oh, he's human, he must be weak when, because they're, for the most part, a lot stronger than we are physically. Yeah.
Yes, and that's what I love because you know what? We're all just trying to figure out. Oh, I dropped my fidget. We're all just trying to figure out where the heck we fit in this world.
Yes, exactly. And I did have somebody, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I did have somebody tell me that my arc, my series arc, where our world, our time, coexisting magical realm, veil that separates us, and my character trying to figure out where he belongs, being too magic for here, too human for there, mastering his
Yeah.
ability, figuring out it kind of mirrors my own journey in, through the world with a neurodivergent mind.
I
Trying to find my place of belonging, trying to figure out who I am, trying to accept my strengths and weaknesses and make the most of it.
Yes. Yeah. I see it. I
Yeah.
definitely see it.
Yes.
All right. And where are people going to buy these books?
Well, if you're in Alberta, they are in select Indigo and Chapters locations across Alberta. Otherwise, you can go to my website at jmshawauthor.com. There's descriptions of my books. There's links to them online. They're available as a print on Amazon. They're all on Kindle. The first couple are on Kobo. The rest will be eventually first couple ebooks on Barnes and Noble, and there's links to those as well. And then you can also follow me. There's on the bottom of my website, Instagram, Facebook links, Goodreads, so you can see what other people are saying about my books. And then I've got an events page
I
that'll tell
say
you where
nice
I'm going to be.
things.
Yes, you did. I saw your review. That was thank you.
You're welcome. When I like stuff, I like it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again. I am sure that you'll be back. Maybe as we get closer to the number 5 coming out. Do you have an aim? I know you're working on it currently. Do you have an aim?
For you mean a name or an aim for when it's coming out?
Aim for when you're coming out.
Well, I have to finish writing it first.
Well, I know, but sometimes
I'm
we
hoping
aim for things.
I'm hoping sometime next year. It won't be this year. I was hoping it would be this year, but I did a relaunch of my with new covers,
Yes.
and so the writing of my 5th book kind of got put on hold. And so now that I'm back at it, I'm working my way into it again, getting into that zone and that writing creatively. And I was hoping it would be done. I'm trying to finish it by the end of this year, but then it's got to get edited and promoted, and then it'll be released by next year.
Okay, I am all in.
You're not the first person who's asked me, so it is going to happen.
Well, it is good to know, and I feel like it keeps us as writers accountable because I'm bad, and I think this is. I mean, when you're dealing with so much, especially when your kids have got stuff and you got to take them appointments and do this and that.
Yes.
We kind of forget about what we need to do sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you find the same thing, but it never fails. You're like, okay, chores are done, kids are at school. I've got a day to myself or a couple hours to myself. I'm going to write. And then the doorbell rings or the cell phone goes off.
Right. And it's like, oh, what now? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's good. Well, thank you again for joining us.
Thanks.
Again, everybody, this is not her first time on the show, so go back and watch the other episodes because we're fun, all right? We're fun, and we talk about good stuff, and we're fun, and I'm obviously tired because I'm repeating myself, but it's great because we're fun.
It is.
One more time.
It's fabulous.
Fun.
Fantastic. Fun. Yes.
It's all the F words.
Maybe not all of them.
Depends on your opinion. Hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and more importantly, share these episodes out because we are talking about such important things and we're bringing them to light in a way that it's life. It happens. We don't have to be ashamed.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed of who you are. So share these out so everyone knows that they are not alone, that they don't have to be ashamed. Mm-hmm. And remember, the only way to end the stigma of mental health is to speak openly and honestly.
Absolutely.
Bye.